Well, good morning. Welcome to the 11:11 gathering. This is Frank in Williamsburg, and you've joined us as we continue our journey through the book Faith Without Religion, The Kingdom Quest. And today we have arrived at entry number 115, which is titled The Crossroads of Decision. Build up your strength by focusing on your successes, says God. Take note of their roots and then duplicate the implementation into areas that still require attention. In the physical realm, you have considerable progress. Exercising regularly and eating correctly will serve you well. Keeping your physical body in good order is essential, for the journey is long and arduous. The spiritual realm is the area that needs most attention. Your ability to perform at the supernatural level is predicated on your willingness to die to the world. This is not a situation where you can wear both hats. Those kind of positions are abundantly available, and there are many sheep that are lost in that way, as you have been. You cannot keep running to slip into your armor and pick up your weapons every time there is a crisis, only to take them off and return to the world dressed in more acceptable clothes. No, this is not only unbecoming of my children who are called and chosen, it is also highly dangerous. If the enemy comes upon a person in the middle of that transition, they could suffer terrible consequences. You have reached a crossroads of decision, and the decision required is of vital importance. You can no longer be in changing mode. People either smoke or they don't. There's no middle category. And it's the same in this instance. You either live for me or you live for yourself and the world, says God. You have the license and the right to make either choice, but you must choose. Once you're clear about who you are living for, the way that you are required to be would only be more obvious, but far more natural. Learn to be bold in your supernatural existence. When people ask what you do, give them the answer in supernatural terms instead of looking for the best way to make them feel the most comfortable. It is time to leave behind the comfort zones of man's approval and recognition for human achievement. Leave all of that for those that seek to glory in their own glory. You have broken the yoke of the television, and that is a major breakthrough. You are exercising regularly and eating properly, and now you need to apply the same discipline that you give to these matters to the other things that attention. However, these things can also be carried out in the same way by any person, regardless as to whether they are in the world, of the world, or both. Therefore, you must choose to move everything to a supernatural level. I know that you have made the decision at the head level, says God. However, decisions at the level of the soul are only made apparent by the actions that accompany the thoughts and the words. Faith without works is dead. You do not have to see this as a dilemma, but rather as an enormous blessing. Never forget that many never even get to make such a choice. You see in other people that are at the same place as you, the hunger they have for separation from the world. That is how it is for leaders in this battle. Just as the Apostle Paul knew that it would be better to leave the world and be with me, he also knew that he had a huge supernatural task to carry out on the earth. Imagine that the only way for you to represent me is to wear a hat that had a big S on it at all times. And this would separate you out as a person that was known to live for God, who makes all of their decisions through prayer, and that hears directly from me through dreams, prophetic words, and divinely inspired writings. A person that would never involve themselves in anything unless they knew it was part of perfect will for their lives. Would you wear that hat all day, every day? Those that can sincerely answer yes to this question are after my own heart. These are the ones that become the chosen. I will choose them because they have chosen me, says God. Once the choice is made, it is not necessary to wear the hat because the distinction is obvious. The people of the world, believers and the lost, all look the same, and to the large part act the same. As I said, you will know them by their fruit. If the fruit does not have eternal value, its production is pointless. Fruit that contains no seed just withers and dies. My chosen warriors are obvious through everything that they do. The way that they think, the words that they speak, the plans that they make, the actions that they take. Look at your own performance in these categories and you will instantly know why I am calling you to choose once again. There are new levels for you to move to, but you cannot move to them dressed in the clothing of this world. Wow. Well, there's a lot of stuff in there. So hopefully you have a copy of this book. If you don't, you can get one on Amazon and then you can read along with it. If you're not a book person, there's a digital version that's available. It's virtually free. You can also get that on Amazon. And if neither of those work for you, then you have the video and you can rewind the video and you can pause it and just ask the Lord what he's trying to tell you through this message. But these are really important matters, this issue of being part of the called and the chosen. Remember, the word says that many are called, but few are chosen. If it truly is in your heart to follow God's calling for your life, then you need to take heed to these kind of messages. Remember that our focus all along with the kingdom quest is only ever one thing: to drive you back to the source of all truth, which is God's living word. This is your blueprint for a successful life. This is blueprint for all eternity. So the things that you're doing now are the building blocks of your eternal future. And you have to be following this blueprint. You can throw all the other self-help books out of the window until you are familiar with this one and walking the way this one tells you to walk, because this is the one that is your guide to your eternal future. Oh, Frank, it's not that simple. Well, yeah, actually, yes, it is exactly that simple. But remember, we are surrounded by the enemy, the forces of evil, the demonic activity that seeks to just drag you down to where they are and keep you from the fullness of the blessings that's available to you. This is an ongoing war, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never ends. The enemy doesn't take days off. They don't have vacations. If you go on vacation, guess what? They're going with, they're looking for that opportunity, and you cannot afford to give it to them. That's why you have to be different. When we talk about living in the supernatural realm, it all sounds so science fiction, and it's nothing to do with that. But there is a spiritual war going on. And as a spirit-filled believer, you have to rise above the gravity that's placed upon you by the world. You have to rise above it so that you can see things the way that God sees them, and you can hear his voice. You have to get above the noise of the world so you can hear clearly what he is instructing you to do. And then you're going to just be incredibly blessed by the things that he's able to do through you. Remember, his word tells you that you can do anything through him. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, says the word. So we're on that. Go over this message today and see what's in there for you. And I'll see you back here tomorrow at 11:11. Bye for now.